Hello and welcome everybody. This is Amanda Rose, your Director of Media from Archer Travel Service, and I am so excited to welcome Sam Morgan from Norwegian Central. How are you doing today?
Amazing. Such a good day, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And also, just a reminder, we posted the codes for everyone this early this morning. So if you guys are looking for that, she graciously shared those with us. If you have any questions, please put those in chat. We will have live Q&A at the end. And if you'd like to watch this recording, it's right here in the videos tab of this page. And without further ado, I'll let you get started. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Well, hello again, agents, and thank you for joining me for our second training session. Now, this time I did reach out to your heads to find out what you would like me to cover, and I've been advised that you would like another overview of how Norwegian Central works, a bit of information about the category tabs and what they mean and how you can differentiate the different pricing. The code explanation. So those are the codes that you were sent out this morning. So that's a little bit of a tip. And I will go through a couple more with you today when we go through the process. The air tab, the motor coach, and how you add gratuity. So I will go through all that with you today. So I will just log in to Norwegian Central and take you through all of that. All right, team. So when we are in Norwegian Central, just a couple of pointers to mention. So Partners First Rewards. Now, this is a very important program for you as agents. We encourage you to sign up. The best point about being part of Partners First Rewards is that we reward you for every booking that you do with us. So every time you have a deposited booking, all you need to do is submit your booking into that portal and we will give you points. Now, those points will turn into gift cards and you can draw those down whenever you like. So it's definitely a worthy cause to be signed up to Partners First Rewards. The other benefit to Partners First Rewards is you will get first access if we are offering any FMILs, webinars, or ship inspections. Now, I know some of you are based in Brisbane, and it'll be good to know that starting from 2025, we will have a port of call in Brisbane, which will allow you guys to hopefully get out there and see the ship. But it is a little while away, but it's good to know and good to get yourselves signed up for that so that when that information is available, you'll be able to get out and hopefully get on board the beautiful ship at that time. A couple of other things to point out in this as well is we have our Booker BDM appointment here. With Booker BDM, you can either look for my name or our wonderful sales support team. If you need any one-on-one training outside of these sessions, we are more than happy to take you through one-on-one. Even if it's just some general questions or you would like some full training, just let us know and you can hit us up at any time. We do have webinars saved in here as well for any of those who would like to rewatch those, or you can reach out to myself and I can send you any recordings for previous ones that we have done in the past. A couple of other things just to point out, this section here where it says eDoc, this is where you will print all your documentation for your clients. So as long as they have completed their online check-in, and it is within that time frame. So our check-in opens from 21 days prior to sailing, and it does close off 3 days prior. So really, they only have about 18 days to get that documentation done, but this is where you can print it. Anybody who likes to do their own marketing or would like to do some self-promotion or put anything on their Facebook pages or so forth, we do have a full marketing page here with images, flyers, Facebook tiles, EDM tiles that you can send out to your clients. Everything is in there. If there's something you can't find, once again, just email me and I will send it out to you. NCLU is our academy. So this is where you can do all your online training and modules in relation to NCL. So if you need any more information about destination, our free at sea program, or anything like that, you can go in. By completing these modules too, the more you complete, the more discounts you'll get to book your own cruises, because these all get attached to your personal number. We do also offer separate agent rates, but usually to get those, we do expect that you have at least completed some of these modules and are signed up to our Partners First Rewards. All right, so that is the main part of this page, but let me take you through the booking process again. So we just on the left here, or you can tick in the middle here, is our new reservation tab. So we just click on there. Just waiting for it to load. Now, once you are in this page, for the very first time, if you haven't been in here before, the only things you need to check is to make sure that we do have your name correctly and you are allocated to the right store or right brand. If you have been in here before and that is all correct, then you don't need to do anything more on this page. You just continue. We will come straight into our booking screen now. I will choose a date. So all you need to do is click here, choose a date. I will choose something probably in 2024. Now, it is always recommended to, I find the best way to bring up the results that you are looking for is to put in the date. So all you need to do is choose the date that it departs from. It'll auto-populate 30 days. The only thing you need to be mindful of is if you happen to go back because they've decided to go earlier, you just have to remember to change this date because the search range is only 30 days. So if you do ever get an error message up the top here, just means that your dates are outside that 30 days. So you just need to manipulate that slightly to get it within that 30-day period. Put in your ship name. This narrows your search down a lot more and it'll bring up results a lot faster for you. So I do not recommend you doing research in this page. If you would like to do research and to try and find a ship or a destination or something that best suits your client, I recommend doing that on our website. We do have a better filter tool on there where you can narrow it down by month, destination, departure port, length of sailing, actual ship itself. So it will narrow down everything much better for you and easily to navigate as well. And then once you have that information, come to here and actually price it up. You can put all your guest information in here. So if you are looking for a cabin that may accommodate 5, 6, 7, or 8 people, put all guests in there at once. And it'll bring up only cabins that accommodate those people. So it makes it really, really easy if you are looking for cabins that accommodate more than 4. The only slight exception to that rule would be if you are looking for an interconnecting cabin. You will have to search those separately, but I will show you how you can interconnect them when we get to the cabin screen. So we'll start off with 2 for this example. So just leave that as 2. Anything below this field, just disregard because that is what they use in the US. It's a multinational system, so we all use the same system, and unfortunately, some things just don't apply to us here. But we can't remove them. So I'll just click Start Search. All right, now it will bring up a whole list of options that are available through that 30-day period that we searched. Usually what I recommend you do is there is a little view tab here for the itinerary. If you do click on that, I usually find it great to just double check that it is the itinerary that you are looking for. So for example, this one is a Seattle return. We will say that this is the sailing that I was looking for. It's just a great way to check. It's also good because it'll tell you if they needed to check if there were docked or tender ports involved here as well. It'll outline everything for you there as well. Just while I am in this screen briefly, this is a land tab and it'll say NA and 4 and NA and 4. The reason I like to show you an Alaska sailing when I do my examples is because we do offer cruise tours in this destination. So this little 4 here indicates that we do actually have a cruise tour available on this particular sailing. So if you do have any guests that are interested in doing cruise tours, this is the way you would book it. It's the same process. It just adds the land component on automatically for you. But for this example, we will just do a cruise option. So just on the select button here at the end, you will just click on that. And then we come straight into our category codes. So that was one of the questions you guys wanted me to go over. So I will explain those again for you. So all our categories start from the bottom, work their way up. So it's the lowest category first. So insides are our lowest category. I at the beginning of these codes stand for inside. The O stands for ocean view. The B stands for balcony. The M is our mini suite. Now, we've actually renamed those to club balconies, but they are our old mini suites. Now, I don't have any available on this particular sailing, but anything with an S in front of it will indicate that it is a suite, and anything here with the H in front of it indicates our Haven complex. Now, for anyone who is not familiar with our Haven complex, this is our ship within a ship area. So it's more for those guests that would like that little bit of extra luxury, because all these cabins come with a butler service, concierge service, priority embarkation, disembarkation. They also get some extra treats, some extra amenities, and it is a nice private area as well. The complex itself has its own bar, its own restaurant, its own pool, and some of the cabins themselves have 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom villas. Some of them also have their own private jacuzzis on their decks. So it is a great, great option for anybody looking for that little bit of extra luxury, but still want the benefits of a large ship, where they can go and see shows, go on, be a big kid at heart and play on the racing car tracks and the virtual rooms and so forth. It's just a nice private area that they can retreat to. It's also good for families, intergenerational families as well, because some of these, this is where you will find those cabins that hold those 6 and 8 people. It's also good for couples that are traveling together and want to take ownership of our 3rd and 4th guest at reduced rates or taxes only. So definitely a great way to make it more cost effective for your clients. Now, the next thing I'll just point out to you is these little codes that run next to these letters. So as a general rule, the lower the alphabetic letter means that the cabin is more forward or aft. The higher the alphabetic letter, that means the cabin is more midship. So if you do have any customers that come into you and say that they would like a midship balcony or midship ocean view, you would go straight to this BA, OA, or IA categories. It just saves you shopping around and switching between screens, just trying to figure out where they're located. That's the best tip I can give you, and the easiest way to narrow all that down. Obviously, they're all clearly labeled here, so you don't need to sort of work out what's balcony, what's not balcony. It'll also, especially with the ocean views, tell you if it's a picture window or just a small round window, and it also outlines the family cabins. Now, with these family cabins, as you can see here with this O, that 5 indicates that this is a 5-berth cabin, so it'll hold 5 people. Whereas this one here, the B4, it indicates it'll only hold 4. So that's just another little tip for you guys from this screen. Where this one says, oh, hang on, the 6, this one should be able to hold up to 6. This one saying, that the 9 usually indicates that it's a spa, but these Haven ones up here that say 6 and 5, indication again that it'll hold that many guests. Also on this screen, you can tick on these little I categories to get some more information about ocean views and to see pictures if you need to. The other thing to point out, I don't have any visible on this screen at the moment, but here in the center, it will indicate the amount of cabins that we have available in each of these categories. So 7+ usually indicates that we have a number of cabins available. If you ever see in this field here a GTY, that indicates that we only have guarantee status. Now, if anybody is not familiar with the guarantee status, basically what it means is that we will guarantee you a cabin of the category that you have chosen. So if it is an inside or an ocean view or a balcony, we will guarantee you one of those cabins on the ship. You just won't be able to choose the location of it. And it's usually allocated by the ship closer to sailing. And sometimes they may or may not be in the most ideal places. So you just need to be aware of that if you are ever selling a guarantee status. Now, the other thing they need to be aware of too is if they are allocated a cabin and they are not happy with its location, unfortunately, they are not able to change it unless they're willing to pay to upgrade to one that is in a different location. So just be mindful of that. Now, to continue through with a booking from this screen, there is your usual way where you would click on this select button. Now, there is nothing wrong with you doing that. The only disadvantage to you of doing that is it's going to make you choose a cabin number. It's going to make you put all your guest information in before it even gives you a price. So if you do go down that avenue, it's not a big deal. It's just that you will take a couple more steps before you will actually get a price. To avoid all of that, though, the best way to do it is to click in the middle here where it says all 4 choices. Now, all 4 choices stands for our free at sea. So I will just click on that here and take you through, and then I'll run through the breakdown of what those choices are. Now, the other question everybody had was this price program screen. Now, you do not actually have to tick anything in this screen. It is automatically populated for you, but I'll give you a little bit of an explanation so you understand what is ticked. So easy fare is one that is always ticked. It is our early booking fare that's automatically included for them. The AU local is the Australian domestic discount or tax that we add on to the booking. So that's automatically ticked for you as well. The all 4 choices indicates our free at sea promotion. So every time you make a booking with us, the free at sea promotion is automatically included for you. And the Australian discount, so this is our percentage off discount. So currently at the moment, we're offering 35% off. This outlines that that discount is included for you. Now, when it comes down to gratuities, which is another question that you guys had asked, you do not need to actually do anything. It is automatically included as part of our pricing for all guests that have booked within Australia. So you don't need to do anything with gratuities. They are automatically included for you. So I will just click on apply promotions here because you just need to accept that you're happy to have everything included. And then it takes you straight through to our pricing screen. So on your pricing screen, it will be broken down into a price per person, and then you will also have your full cabin total as well. It'll also break down your commission amount that you will see here. And scrolling down a little bit further, you will also see your gross amount, your commission amount, and your net amount. So great way to see everything up front so you know what you're getting and what you're giving to your clients. It also outlines up the front here what promos are included. So as you can see, free at sea is included. You have your beverage, your dining, your internet, and your shore excursion credit. You have your percentage off discount and your bonus fares, everything that we were just looking there. Now, this little code down the bottom here, I believe, is your most important because it actually tells you who is getting the free at sea components and how many of those free at sea components they are actually getting. So on that little code sheet that you would have been given, this little AUC23 outlines our percentage off discount. So it lets you know that because we've only got 2 guests in this booking, guest 1 and guest 2 both get that discount. The next one here is our beverage package. And the 1 indicates that they do get 1 beverage package each. And as you can see, it is broken down for guest 1 and guest 2. So each guest on this booking will get a premium beverage package. And our premium beverage packages include beer, wine, spirits, cocktails, soda, and juice to the value of $15 per drink. It is also unlimited, so there is no set amount of drinks that they can have. It's pretty much until their bartender cuts them off for the day. The next one here is our Wi-Fi minutes. So as you can see again, it is for guest 1 and guest 2. And the 150 that you see here outlines the amount of minutes they get for the full duration of sailing. So it is 150 minutes for guest 1 and 150 minutes for guest 2. Now this works in like a log in, log out type basis. So it is recommended that they do log out each time. Otherwise they could drain those minutes. And these minutes are good for things like updating some posts, checking your emails, just doing a general web search. We do have upgrade options available once they've deposited, should they need further internet. This one here, though, is our shore excursion credit. Now, it's a little bit confusing with the type of code that is in there. The way I remember it, though, is the shore excursion credit is only applicable to the cabin, and it's always allocated to the first guest in that cabin. So that's how I remember that this is a shore excursion credit. So for those who are not quite aware, it is a 50 USD shore excursion credit that's applicable to every shore excursion that they do. So anytime they book a shore excursion, that $50 will come off automatically. But it is a great discount to have for families, especially if they're doing multiple excursions. The next one here is our dining package. So our specialty dining package that we give. As you can see again, it is for guest 1 and guest 2. And the little 2 that indicates here at the end indicates the amount of meals that they get for the duration of sailing. So this is letting you know that for the whole sailing, they will get 2 meals in one of the specialty restaurants. Now, when I'm talking a meal, we classify a meal as an entree, main, and dessert. That is one meal. So they can either go to the same restaurant twice, or they can go to 2 different restaurants and have an entree, main, and dessert. The only time that's slightly different is if we have like our teppanyaki, because it's sort of like a set menu, it just covers that set menu. So just be mindful of that. Now, once you're at this screen and your guests are happy and would like to continue, you basically just come straight up here to the stateroom category and click on it. And it'll bring up a list of all the staterooms that we have available in this particular category. You can click here to select your cabin, or if you would like to narrow it down by deck, you can do that as well. By clicking on it, going over the deck, it will give you a full little deck plan here so that you can see where all the cabins are located and what is actually available. So any of these highlighted ones that you can see here indicates that the cabins are available and free to choose. Anything that you can see in these grey fields here indicates it's either not available or not in the category that you have chosen. So it's a great clear way to see. There's also a little legend up here. So if you wanted to know what these little pluses mean, or if there's some other little codes on there, usually if you want to know what any of those mean, or these triangles, what they mean, you can click on that little legend and it'll tell you. Now, when we were talking interconnecting before, I'm just see if I can find a clear example, because there are examples, but they're a little bit grayed out and a bit hard to see. So here's a sort of example. This little arrow that you see here indicates a interconnecting cabin. So what you would need to do when you were doing your search, you would search for, you say, 3 people. You would come in here, see what cabins were available, and you would go book one, and then you'd go back and book the other. The other thing you can do is select 2 cabins at the same time, and then just go back and amend your people in those cabins. So it just depends which way you prefer to work. There is also a little information tab up the top here, so that you can have a look at the individual cabins. So if you would like to know what is located, where it's located, or what is in them, especially if you would like bedding configuration. So for example, this one has a convertible single sofa and convertible lower beds. So it just lets you know what the bedding configuration is in that room. It'll also let you know that the maximum capacity of this particular cabin is 3. So for example, if you currently have 2 people, but there is a possibility that they'll add a third, you would just choose a cabin that can accommodate 3, so that later on, if we need to add that third person, it won't be a real inconvenience. The only small exception to that rule as well is we do have capacity limits. So if at any time we have run out of triple berths, even though the room has bedding, it still won't allow you to add that person. So anytime there is the thought of adding an extra person, it's always better to do it sooner rather than later. So we'll, the other little thing I'll just quickly point out is this filter tab. So you can click on filter. There are a number of different little options that you can click here. The one probably use this for the most would be wheelchair accessible. So if you are unsure where to find the wheelchair accessible, this is a great way to narrow it down. Let me see, I'll just do an example just to see if it is available for the category that I have chosen. So if we just click on that wheelchair accessible, keep it in the category that we've got, click on apply parameters. Oh, we are in luck. So in this particular case, we have 3 cabins to choose from. So if I was to click on that information, just so you can see, it will outline clearly that it is a wheelchair accessible cabin. So that's a great way to narrow it down. if, for example, that I did do that search and no cabins came up, it just would indicate that we don't have any wheelchair cabins available in that category. If it was specific that they did need a wheelchair accessible cabin, you would need to click on a number of other categories and search to see where they are available. But it's a good little tool to work that out if you need to. So let me select one of these cabins for our example and continue through. So you can either select the cabin over here or from the map here, and then you just click select. And it will bring you straight into our guest tab. Now, there is two ways that you can add guest information in here. We have our search field. Now, this is where you would go if any guests have sailed with us before and have reward like membership numbers. Or if they don't know them, you can search and locate them in here as well. For those that are brand new or never sailed with us before, you would click on create and hold a booking in this way. Now, the only information we technically need is their first name, their date of birth, and their citizenship. If you do have all of this information, it's great to add in, but if you don't stress too much. It can be added in later. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to add in some details because I would like to show you a couple of things, and I can't do that without guest information in the booking. So let me just quickly create one. Okay. Now that is all saved in, the one thing I just want to point out to you, up the top here, we have our little toggles. Now, at the moment, we have black ones and blue ones. As soon as I click continue on adding the guests in, these will all change to black. Now, the reason they do that is just giving you the information that we have completed all the mandatory fields that we need to create a booking. But everything else here is optional and doesn't necessarily need to be filled in. But there are a couple of tabs here that you guys have asked me about. So I will go over these again now for you just to explain. Now, but just quickly before I do that, you can go through the bottom here and tab through. It will actually tab you through each one of these as we go along. If you didn't want to do that, you can just click on these specific tabs and go to the one that is relevant to you. It just makes time a lot easier and gets you through the booking a lot faster as well. For this example, I will do it through the top toggles just to show you. Land programs is where you would go to add in any pre or post accommodation. So let me just click on it and see if we do have any available at this stage. And yes, we do. So for pre and post, we have 1, 2, and 3 nights. Now, 3 is the maximum amount of nights that we can do pre or post. And they are in here available for you to add pretty much as soon as they're available, and you can see them in here. It is quoted per person, so just be mindful of that. So for this example, on the one night, it is $370 per person. It includes the accommodation, any taxes, and port charges. It'll also include the transportation either to the ship or from the ship, depending whether it's pre or post. Now, within the US, breakfast is not included. However, within Europe and Asia, if you do have any pre or post accommodation, breakfast will be included. If you're ever unsure or you need us to double check, just you can either call Res or send me an email and I can triple check to make sure that it is included for you. Now, these are commissionable to you. It just is a slightly different commission amount to your standard. So just keep that in mind. Now, air options. I did have a couple of questions surrounding air options. Now, unfortunately, here in Australia, we do not offer air at all. So this tab is technically irrelevant to you. The only time you would use it is if you wanted to add in a transfer from the airport to the ship. Now, the only time we offer these transfers is if they are going directly from the airport to the ship, or they are going from the airport to our pre or post accommodation. We don't offer these transfers in any other form. So to do that, if you ever wanted to add them in, you would click on this Add Independent Air. I know that is a very odd way to do it, but it's the way the system operates. Basically, all you do is you select the guest you would like the transfer to be applied to, add in the flight information, you validate that flight. If it comes up and says your flight is valid, all you do is click continue and it'll add the transfer in automatically for you. Now, this is your little shopping cart, we like to call it over here. So once it's added in, you will see a little tab that'll show up that says transfer and it'll give you a price. If you ever want that removed, you would just not save it in. So just be mindful of that. Travel protection is another thing we do not use here in Australia. It is only offered in the US. We don't, unfortunately, have a travel protection program here. Motor coach is the same. It is another US tab that we do not use here. So pretty much these three tabs you will pretty much disregard completely unless you want to add in that transport to or from the airport. But a lot of people do actually ring res to add that in. They don't book it themselves, but that's totally up to you. The ones that you will use, though, is this special requests. Now, this is where you will add any dietary, medical, if they want extra things in their room. So, for example, if you want to push the beds together, have them separated, add in extensions, extra pillows, any of that jazz, this is where you will add it. We also offer your clients anniversary, birthday, and honeymoon cakes as well. Now, these are complimentary. All you need to do is select the guest that any of this applies to, choose the date you would like it delivered, and choose the delivery place. Now, given that we are a freestyle cruising and technically you can eat whenever you want, wherever you want, I usually recommend you select it to the cabin, unless they've specifically told you they're going to be in a specific dining room on a specific night. That way they're guaranteed to get it. If you just put dining room, they're not going to really know where they're situated, and that's when you would, if you do know, you would put the notes here to say they're going to be in Cagney's on this particular night, they're celebrating an anniversary, something of that nature. So that's how you do it. You basically put it, choose your thing, click add, click continue, and it'll add it in for you. The next screen that you would technically use, if you are not adding any of these things in, then you would go straight to your payment schedule. So once you've added in your guest details, you would go straight to payment schedule to check your deposit amount. So your deposit amount comes up clearly here, and this is a cabin total, not a per person. It'll tell you the due date. It'll also tell you the final payment amount. Now, once again, this is a total final amount, and then the date it is due. For any of those who would like to extend that deposit out, you can do that here. It will come up with 10 days, but your extension is a maximum of 7. We already give you 3 days automatically. That's what makes up that 10 days. So you've got an additional 7 here to extend it out to, and you can do that yourselves automatically. The check wire payment doesn't apply to you, so just disregard that. You can make deposits via credit card in here, either with the guest credit card or your agency card. It's up to you, and then the payments will go on instantaneously. If your guests have any coupons with us, so if they've purchased any Cruise Next or Cruise First coupons, or they have any coupons from past cruises that were allocated to them, you can go in here and apply those to the bookings as well. If you don't want to put any payment down, but would like to hold the cabin just temporarily while they think about it, or you need to try and figure out other travel arrangements around the cruise, you can just click here and commit to the booking until you've got payment on file. Now, to check that you actually held the booking correctly, all you need to just make sure is that it says offer here. So once you've pressed that button, as long as you get this offer status, you know that the booking is all held in until your valid date. So, for example, on this one, we have until the 18th of August to get this booking held in or confirmed. And then to know that it is confirmed, this will be changed to booked. Once it's booked, you know that your deposit or your payment has been received, and the booking is all secured until that final payment date. So in a nutshell, guys, that is technically how you make a booking. Hopefully that is as simple as possible for you. Now, the other couple of quick tabs I just want to point out to you are just on the side here. So this send confirmation, this is where you can send yourself. So you'll have the agency copy, you've got guest copies, and then you can also send an agency copy as well. So there's your individual copy, the agency copy, and your guest copy. All you do is put the email address in that you would like it to go to and click send, and they will come up automatically. The travel with tab here is where you would link bookings together. So if you do have any interconnecting or you do have any family members that are traveling together, you would just click on this travel with, put in the relevant booking numbers, and then you would link them all. It's a great way to have, like, if you've got groups of people, it's good to let the ship know that they are traveling together. So if they would like to be seated together at any dinners or would like to be go out and do things together, it lets the ship know that they are a big group. There's also itinerary information up here. This travel documents tab, just disregard. You'll always get an error message if you try to get travel documents from here. So always use that other tab that I showed you on that main page. You can add extra amenities in. So if your guests would like any onboard credit or they're having a celebration and you would like to give them a bottle of wine or something for their room, this is where you would go to add that in. You just have to be mindful that they are instant payments, and we need a credit card to add those in. So you can add them in anytime you like. Just be mindful that you need the funds ready to go to lock those in. Now, the last thing I'm just going to quickly show you is our cancellation field in here. So you can cancel bookings at any time you like. You can also get quotes on if there are any penalties. As long as this says 0, you are good to go. That means there is no penalties from our side to cancel a booking. And you just need to put in a reason for that cancellation. So you just select the closest one that meets those criteria and go from there. If you do happen to see a figure in here, that just means that that will be the charge that will come off the booking. If this charge, though, is ever higher than the money that we have on file, so as an example, our deposit amount is $298. If your cancellation fee here said it was $500, for example, we will only take that what is on file. So we can't take any more than what is currently on file. If the booking was paid in full, though, and the cancellation fee was $1,000, we would take that $1,000 and then the rest would be refunded. So that's technically how that payment works. So let me just cancel this one out now because we no longer actually need the booking. So as I said, just choose your reason. We've got 0 money here, and then it'll clearly label cancel for you. And that is pretty much making a booking in a nutshell, guys. So was there any questions or any clarifications you needed me to do on that process?
Yeah. So the first question is it all in USD when booking or in AU for our Australian agents?
Yep, so Australian agents, everything is quoted in AUD. We don't quote in USD at all. The USD component only comes into fact when they board the ships, because all the ships, no matter where they're sailing, are in USD. It is also recommended that clients book shore excursions and add any, like, their internet or anything that they want up front, because it'll all be charged in Australian dollars. As soon as they board the ship, it'll all convert. So it sometimes works out better for them to do it before they board.
Okay, perfect. Next question. With regard to gratuities, are they included for sailings to and from Australia as well as international?
Correct, they are. So anytime a booking is made in Australia, gratuities are covered for the entire booking. It's also covered as part of our free at sea. There is only one small slight exception to that rule, is there are some countries that have a local tax when the ship is in port. That is the only tax that isn't covered as part of the gratuities. There are a couple of things, taxes in Hawaii, and there are a couple of European countries that have a slightly different tax. That's the only thing that, because it's local and it can differ different to port, that's the only little thing that they'll have additional once they're on board the ship.
Perfect. Next question. Is there any problem with going in and doing a dummy booking and then canceling it just as a test for ourselves to practice in the system?
No, that's not a problem at all. And that's pretty much what I just did. There is a little, when in those cancellation queries, there is one that's for test. So as long as it's done within 24 hours of you playing around with it, it's not a problem.
Perfect. Does the system have the facility to send a quote to a potential client prior to booking?
Yes. So that's what this send confirmation is you would send them the customer copy. You just put in their email address and it'll send them a full invoice of what we just created less, and it just won't show your commission amount.
Can we join your marketing HQ like a newsletter for when deals come out for Australian agents only?
Correct. So that is what the Partners First Rewards program is all about. So that is another reason why we recommend you sign up to that, because you'll get all the first-hand information about deals, new sales, and everything comes through that program.
Perfect. I think that was the last question. Let me just double check, make sure nothing else.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, one more question. Yeah. How does Norwegian deal with upgrades? If my client wants to upgrade after already making a booking, can I upgrade them, or will they be stuck where they're at?
No, they can definitely upgrade. The only thing that you have to be mindful of is where they stand within the booking process. So if they are within that penalty period, so that not between that sort of 90 to 10 days before sailing, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because unless they're upgrading to a higher category, we can't downgrade them. But as long as they're not within that penalty period, we can amend their booking at any time. They just have to be mindful, though, that the promotion could change. So, for example, if they're currently on a promotion that has onboard credit and they're upgrading or downgrading outside of penalty, and the current promotion doesn't have onboard credit, they would lose that to change the cabin. So that's the only thing you have to be mindful of with change.
Perfect. That's our last question for today. I think it was covered so well. So all our questions were answered. So I really appreciate you coming back and doing this, Sam.
That's okay, no problem. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I am available to you whenever you need me. So don't feel scared or worried to ask me any questions. I'm more than happy to help you. I have clients ring me at all different times of the day. Sometimes I will be able to answer, sometimes I won't, but I will definitely get back with you with your request or whatever it is that you need.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you, Sam. And we're also going to repost. I saw a few agents said it was a little blurry when we posted it, so we're going to repost the image with the codes on it so you guys can have them again. And then just thank you so much, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day.
All right, no worries. Have a great day.
Thanks, Sam. Bye.
All right, bye.